What's going on, guys? My name is Noah. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about testosterone replacement therapy, or TRT, and more specifically why I am on testosterone at such a young age. I literally just opened the door for a bunch of you to bring up how old I look, and I'm cool with it. So I recently put out a video on TRT that has done pretty well. It has over 140,000 views. The only reason I bring that up, it's not to gloat, but it's to address the fact that as a result, a lot of new people have come to the channel. They're curious about TRT. They're a bit curious about my story, and they didn't necessarily want to dig back into old videos as to why I would be on TRT at age 30. I'm 30 now, but when I started, I was 25 years old. Now, in my book, 25 is a very young age to be on testosterone replacement therapy, hormone replacement therapy. So this video would be, I guess, a recap for people that have been here for a while who know this about me, as many would if you've stuck around the channel, because it's a frequent topic of discussion. But it'll be some new information for the people that are new here, especially the ones that are questioning my motives for being on TRT. So in 2011, I had a massive mental breakdown. I took a medication called Vivitrol, and that's the brand name generically known as naltrexone. Naltrexone is something that they give opiate addicts who are trying to recover from opiates. They're trying to stay off it, and it creates a ceiling effect so that you can't get high. And it also is used off-label as something that can help people that struggle with alcohol with cravings. You can put two and two together. I took it for the second reason. I've never done opiates, but I was struggling with my alcohol consumption, and it was an option to me. And I didn't know much about this medication, naltrexone. I didn't know anything. I just heard it would help with cravings. I was in a space in my life in my mid-20s where I really wanted to work on that. I felt it was hindering me from pursuing things, becoming a better version of myself. I have my reasons. That's not what this video is about. What did happen after I took this intramuscular injection of naltrexone was a massive mental breakdown. I had what is known as a paradoxical reaction to the naltrexone, huge, massive, once-a-month dose, and I didn't process it well. It's something I've talked about at great length on this channel, but what we ended up finding out after a year and a half of treatment-resistant depression is that my pituitary stopped functioning properly and thus downregulated a lot of my hormones, namely testosterone. So in that year and a half after I took this injection, I went from being what I would consider, especially retrospectively, a healthy, mostly stable, physically well, typical guy, I guess, in his 20s trying to figure life out. Not without my problems, but certainly never broaching the depths of despair, including depression, suicidal ideations, panic disorder, dissociation. And that's what I dealt with after the naltrexone. Very small likelihood that that would happen, but it did happen to me. So I lost a bunch of weight because I couldn't eat for a long time, and then I started slowly gaining weight back only in the form of fat, and I was bedridden for a lot of it, hospitalized. I wasn't doing well. Getting back to the reason I'm on TRT, after having tried over the course of like a year and a half tons of psych medications, from nortriptyline, which is an old tricyclic, to newer SSRIs and SNRIs, antipsychotics, you name it, they tried me on it. RTMS, which is a form of shock therapy, hospitalizations. I was up late at night in my great despair, living back home with my parents, barely able to function, horribly messed up. And I saw an infomercial for like an anti-aging thing. It said something to the effect of, men over 30 or men over 40 maybe, are you feeling like you can't build muscle like you used to, or that your libido is gone, which mine was. After I had this mental breakdown, I couldn't get an erection to save my life. I was deeply, deeply messed up. So I saw this commercial, and they brought up that you might have low testosterone. Now, I understand that the commercial wasn't aimed at me, but I was desperate. I mean, desperate to see what was going on with me. I very sincerely thought I was on the brink of death, and so I made an appointment with my primary care physician. I was seeing a psychiatrist at the time and a therapist, and I was in support groups. And I asked my doctor if he thought it was possible that I could be low testosterone, and he very much did not think that was a possibility, but we'd exhausted so many options. My depression had creeped into such a long-term space that he was willing, after some groveling, I suppose, and begging, to go ahead and do a blood draw. And it was at that time in 2012 that the blood work came back, and I was 150 nanograms per deciliter. 150 nanograms per deciliter, to give you perspective, is a solid 600 nanograms per deciliter less than the average 25-year-old. So 750 would be normal for a 25-year-old. That's how old I was at the time. And I got to tell you, when that happened, I was extremely relieved, extraordinarily relieved. I'd kind of lost hope that anything would ever help, but it was new information. The doctor had me get blood work again just to make sure, and then again, both times came back very, very low. Free testosterone was very low, total testosterone was very low. It sort of made sense. And naturally, once we discovered that, we started treating my low testosterone. I never once considered that that could be the problem. And to that effect, I feel like if you're a guy watching this and you're struggling with your mood, you're struggling with your libido, you're struggling with your outlook, you're struggling with your sense of vitality, if you're not doing well, it's not a bad idea to find out if you might have a hormonal imbalance. It kind of makes sense. Even if you're not willing to do anything exogenous like I was, which was start testosterone replacement therapy, which is intramuscular injections every week, you can at least start seeing what lifestyle changes you might be able to make, which I eventually ended up doing, which is why over time my dose has gotten less and less and less and less, and the goal is to eventually get off. But some guys, when they watch my videos, and I get knee-jerk reactions, and I understand pessimism, but some guys think I'm on it for reasons that are more physical. Some guys think I'm just on it to cut corners or get big or something like that. And while I have enjoyed the fact that I was able to start building muscle again, which I couldn't do for the longest time because I was low T, that's been a fun side effect of regulating my hormones. It was never the cause. And I could spend time belaboring this topic, trying to get you to believe me, but I just don't care what you think in that respect. And I hope that if you're willing, you trust me, or you look back at my old footage and you understand that that's just not what this is about. Now, I can happily say that over the last few years, I've almost got my dose in half, and we are on our way off eventually. I want to get on HCG. I want to see if I can have kids someday. But for now, that is my story. That is why I am personally on TRT at a relatively young age. Don't mind my bald spot. And I strongly encourage you guys to go check this out as well. I've had some people say, well, why didn't you try more natural remedies? And I can genuinely tell you that I was in such a desperate place, and I was so suicidal that I didn't really feel like there was enough time. So that's why I just made that move so quickly. It ended up being an awesome piece of the puzzle. It has never been the ultimate and only solution for me, but I did get a lot of my vitality back over time. Energy level went up, appetite went up, my sex drive returned slowly, and then I just used it as a piece of the puzzle as to how I can get mentally and emotionally well again, on top of self-care and continuing group therapy and a lot of other things I do. So that's it. That's why I ended up on TRT at a relatively young age, and I hope that makes sense to you. Thank you guys for being here, especially all the new subscribers that are checking out the channel. I'm going to make a very concerted effort to include more TRT footage every single week, along with mental health topics on like Mondays. I'll do workout videos, Q&As, life updates, some fun stuff. So I'm going to try to make this a pretty well-rounded experience for anyone who wants to be more a part of my life or this whole world. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've been through anything similar or what your story might be. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you to everyone who is supporting me on Patreon. You guys mean so much to me. You are part of the biggest lifeblood of this channel, and I appreciate you so very much. We'll see you guys in the next video. Adios, bromigos.